the blood flow has improved considerably. This effect occurs throughout the organism. As a
Thank you very much. I am more excited about this show than any other we have done this season, because today we are changing the practice of medicine, and you get the help. Now, if you've tried everything to ease your back pain, your neck pain, foot pain, arthritis pain, then this is the show for you. There's a revolutionary cure for pain that few doctors know about, because it's not a new pill or surgery. It uses moving magnets, energy waves that change the way your body copes with pain. Wait till you see what we found. You may not realize it, and you certainly can't feel it, but inside each of us is a raging electrical storm. A biological whirlwind that controls every cell, every nerve, every muscle, every thought. How you experience pleasure, and even how you experience pain. What if you could harness this powerful force field inside of you to feel better, sleep longer, and most miraculous of all, ease your chronic aches and pains? That's the promise of magnetic therapy, which uses the power of magnetic energy to redirect electrical impulses to the areas where you feel pain, so relief and healing can begin. The FDA has already cleared pulsed magnetic therapy for fusing broken bones, treating severe untreatable depression, and now to treat post-operative pain and swelling. It sounds like science fiction, but is magnetic therapy for real? Are we finally on the brink of a whole new frontier to reduce, even erase, your pain? Now, just to be clear, we are not talking about static magnets like the kind you stick on the fridge. This is pulsed electromagnetic fields. It's pulsing moving energy. So Dr. James Dillard is a world-class pain specialist who practiced with me at New York Presbyterian Hospital for many years. So Dr. Dillard, are these things for real? I mean, how can magnetic therapies help ease pain?
Because the electromagnets actually affect the nerve cells. Nerve cells are electrical cells, and the magnetic fields can actually affect how the nerves fire and quiet them down without using drugs that most people are used to, and increase circulation in the area and aid the healing.
You take care of a lot of patients. When folks come to you and they want medications or surgery or needles, how do you convince them that magnets might be a better solution?
Well, I actually don't have to convince a lot of these people. A lot of my pain patients, they're sick of having too much morphine, oxycodone. They're sick of all the injections. And I'm trained to do that too. Many of my patients, and remember, more than 1 out of every 3 Americans is suffering with chronic pain now. 1 out of every 3. Many of my patients want to try something other than drugs, unnecessary surgeries, damaging surgeries, and these deep injections. So a lot of patients, I don't actually have to convince them. They want to try something else.
All right, so this is really important. I want you to understand it well. Here's what researchers say magnetic fields are doing inside the body. Inside this mat, there are electrical coils. And when electricity passes through there, it creates a magnetic field that moves through the body. And it whispers. There's 75 trillion cells in your body. And it goes deep into your body, places where sports screens and heating pads could never reach. For example, down around the spine, where that red, angry area is. Now, the magnetic field turns on, and when it does it, it activates these ions, these charged particles. And there are proteins in there, and there's signals in there, stirs these things up. And these charged particles bring in nutrients, but they also begin to influence things like blood supply. Now, when the blood vessels are going in here, the red blood cells are actually stacked. See, they're stacked like that? They're not supposed to be stacked. When they're irritated, that happens. So when you pass magnetic fields through there, that yellow line, it opens up the blood vessel. It breaks apart these red cells. They're not stacked like coins. So you can get deep healing, better oxygen supply. So the healing process takes place. You don't just feel better. You are better.
As a police officer, the pain impacted me tremendously. Trying to get in and out of the car, trying to deal with offenders. It's hard to do that type of job when you're in that kind of extreme back pain. The pain started 10 years ago. It was very bad, to the point where I couldn't function as a human being. Literally, I would be laying on the floor, trying to do every kind of stretching. I would have to call into work, sit home, lay on the floor with ice on my back. It was bad. I tried chiropractors, medicine, and nothing seemed to work. Then I started researching online, everything to do with back pain. And the one that struck my eye was electromagnetic therapy. As soon as I got the machine, I remember opening it up, I immediately plugged it in. I was in less pain from just one treatment. I woke up the next day and I started hitting it 3 times a day. Within 6 to 8 weeks, the pain was gone. I have no pain today at all.
So, Mike, welcome to the show. So how is life different now that you've tried these magnetic therapies?
It's tremendously different. Pain-free, completely.
You're kidding me.
No.
I mean, describe your pain before this all started.
It was intense. I'd be laying on the floor with ice packs, seeing doctors, seeing chiropractors. Then the pain just got so bad that I needed to look into something else.
And did you talk to your doctor about it?
I talked to, actually I talked to him, no, actually I didn't. I didn't talk to him.
Why were you hesitating? Were you embarrassed about not talking to your doctor?
A little bit, yeah.
Circulation of the blood in the body. For its part, microcirculation is extremely important in the functioning of the entire organism. It is known as the main road of health.
Microcirculation in the human body is where cells are nurtured and disposed of, more specifically via the smallest vessels, the so-called capillaries. If a person's microcirculation area were to be spread out, it would cover an area as large as 2 football fields. It's that large. But then again, our bodies contain 70 to 90 billion cells, which must be nourished, nurtured, and disposed of. If changes take place here, disorders in microcirculation, this can eventually also lead to pathological conditions, as the body is no longer able to compensate for certain elements and can no longer handle certain regulation processes.
One of the best-known experts on the subject of microcirculation is Dr. Rainer Klopp. As head of the Institute for Microcirculation and erstwhile chief physician at the Charité Berlin, he has been involved in research into these minute blood vessels for many years, explained by Dr. Klopp's extensive insights into the minuscule world of microcirculation. Blood travels through many vessel branches that taper constantly into all the organs, where the blood vessels branch into the rich networks of blood capillaries. These capillaries then join together again to permit the return of the blood. The transit section for the exchange of substances between blood and body cells can be found in the capillary area. At the start of the approximately 1 millimeter long capillaries, water is pressed into the tissue, ensuring that nutrients are transported from the blood plasma to the body cells. At the end of the capillaries, water returns from the tissue into the capillaries, taking with it waste products from the cell exchange for disposal. The oxygen required for the combustion processes in the cells enters the tissue by means of diffusion from the red blood cells. At the same time, the red blood cells are loaded with carbon dioxide, which is expelled into the lungs, the performance capacity of the organs, and the entire organism. As a result, the state of our health is dependent to a significant extent on the adaptation of the organ blood supply to the metabolic requirements of the organ tissue in each case. That is, on the regulation of the blood supply. This occurs mainly as a result of various rhythmic lumen changes to the extremely small blood vessels that are located directly before and behind the capillary networks. In a similar manner to sluice gates in an irrigation channel, the blood supply to an organ is adapted to different metabolic requirements of the organ tissue when the body is at rest or at work. Where this regulation is restricted or even impaired, this results in reduced of even pathologically modified specific, biorhythmically defined stimulation of the blood supply regulation is specific. Biorhythmically defined stimulation of the blood supply regulation is
Groundbreaking innovation for modern preventative medicine. It is the most effective and, at the same time, the best researched physical treatment method currently available to us.
can be seen in this technical recording of the tiniest capillaries. After just 2 minutes of
So here's 17 reasons why the IMRS is the best PMF device available today. Reason number 1 is that the IMRS is the only PMF device that I've found, at least as far as the full body mat devices, because I do recommend getting a unit with a full body mat. It's the only one I've found that primarily uses the frequencies of the earth. Some of the other full body mat devices claim to, but they have hidden frequencies present on every setting in the 250, 500, and 1000 hertz range. So you have to kind of read the fine print. And as I talked about in my book, these 0 to 30 hertz frequencies are the frequencies that the Schumann resonance and the earth in the higher harmonics of Schumann, it's the frequencies that our tissues and cells, according to Addy and Bowen and Siskin and Walker, respond to. It's actually the frequencies that we project according to Zimmerman and Sato studies in Japan. And also it's very common knowledge that our brain state from low delta to high beta goes from 0 to 30 hertz. And that's just standard medical knowledge. So number one reason is that the IMRS uses exclusively earth-based frequencies. Number 2, the IMRS has a built-in biorhythm clock. And this is great because it gives you the right frequency for the time of day. So for example, in the morning, you're getting primarily around 15 hertz, which is a beta brain state frequency. And this helps to wake you up, to energize, so you can be more alert in the morning. And in the evening programs, it uses primarily more of a theta delta frequency, which helps you to wind down, relax, and get ready for sleep. So it's very in tune with your biorhythms and the time of day and what you need. Number 3, the IMRS uses safe yet strong enough intensities. And the IMRS has an ideal range from the nanotesla for people that are really, really sensitive up to even 300 microtesla on the new probe. And so it's great for both sensitive people and for localized pain relief that needs a little higher intensity. And these intensities are all within the range that is deemed safe by different governing agencies like the DIN and some other worldwide organizations that talk about safety levels for intensity. So you got a good, strong enough intensity, but yet it's still safe. And I also like that it's a graduated intensity. So you're getting a higher intensity towards the feet and a lower intensity towards the head, because the head and the neck are more sensitive. So number 4, the IMRS uses research-proven waveforms, the sawtooth and the square wave. The IMRS PMF system uses the proven sawtooth waveform, which provides the cells with a full frequency spectrum, like a bundle of frequencies simultaneously that will resonate with different tissues. Because as Siskin and Walker showed, and some other researchers, that different tissues in the body respond to different frequencies, primarily within the 0 to 30 hertz range. So when you use a sawtooth and the harmonics of a sawtooth, you're getting just a broader frequency spectrum. And it's also a rapid rise and fall, which relates to the next waveform, which is the square wave. And the square wave was the particular waveform that NASA found to be the most effective for healing and regeneration. And they found specifically that low intensity, low frequency, around 10 hertz, and a rapid rise and fall, which both the sawtooth and the square wave qualify as, was the most ideal signal for healing and regeneration. In fact, they found that lower intensity worked better than higher intensity, and the lower frequencies worked better than the higher frequencies. And the rapid rise and fall sawtooth and square wave worked better than a sine wave or the more simplistic waveforms that don't have a rapid rise and fall. Number 5, the IMRS uses tightly wound circular pure copper coils. The IMRS has 3 pairs of tightly wound coils, and this gives you a pure magnetic field. Some of the competitors, and I'll show a few images here in the video, use basically plastic tubing with copper inside, but they wind it in a way that's more of an oval, and the spacing in between isn't very tight. So the field lines will kind of bleed off, and you're not getting a pure magnetic field. Purest magnetic field is very tightly wound circular coils. Number 6, the IMRS uses a full body mat. And you definitely want to get a full body mat PMF device to tap into the amazing benefits. You know, even when Dr. Oz promoted PMF therapy as one of the greatest breakthroughs for pain relief, he was very particular on recommending to get a full body mat device. And I do agree with that, because you want to energize the whole body first, even before you go in for local application with the applicators. Number 7, the IMRS reverses polarity every 2 minutes. And this is important because your body will acclimate or become adjusted to a signal. Number 8, the IMRS minimizes electrosmog exposure. And the plug itself that plugs into the wall will filter out the unhealthy 60 hertz AC current and converts it to a DC at the wall. Number 9, the IMRS is digital, programmable, and easy to upgrade. There's a lot of programmability and there's a lot of intelligence built in to the new IMRS that was definitely an upgrade from the previous MRS 2000. Number 10, the IMRS has an HRV advanced biofeedback system called the iMORE. The IMRS is the only PMF unit available in the US with an advanced biofeedback, and this sort of puts using the IMRS on autopilot because it automatically adjusts the intensity of the unit based on a heart rate variability biofeedback. And it also gives you a unique session every time you use it, so further preventing habituation or acclimation to the unit, because that definitely happens with a simple sine wave and with static magnetic mattress products. You just don't get the same benefit over time that you would initially. Number 11, the IMRS has an integrated light and sound system that helps to further entrain the mind into deeper relaxation. And it's sort of like a spa for the mind. So it's a nice addition. And the frequencies in the ISLRS are synchronized to the frequencies in the mat. So it's a nice synergy. Number 12, the IMRS has FDA registration, and it's soon to be one of the few PMF devices approved by Health Canada. And that's coming very, very soon. Number 13, the IMRS has leading safety and quality certificates, including, but not limited to, the ISO 9001, ISO 13485, EEC 93-42 certification, has CECB product safety certificates, and ISO 14791 risk management, and others. So it's very, very, very well accredited. Number 14, the IMRS is a reputable, long-standing German-based PMF company with over 15 years experience. Since the late 90s, the IMRS and the previous MRS 2000 have been a worldwide leader in PMF therapy, and there's literally hundreds of thousands of case studies in both the German clinics and since then to really validate the effectiveness of the MRS 2000, which is now the IMRS. Number 15, the IMRS is one of the best values of any PMF system on the market. Number 16, the IMRS has a standard 3-year warranty, which is extendable to 5 years. And finally, number 17, the IMRS offers some of the best one-on-one training and support. So that way you can be assured when you get your device, you'll really get results using it.